So the way you have to get to... Oh, come on now. That's some really incompetent gameplay right there. Welcome back to another episode of Games Done Slow and Bad, where we play games slowly, and most often badly. We are back with another episode of A Link to the Past! Yay! To start this episode of A Link to the Past, we're going to go and take advantage of another secret that we can access now that we have the power mitts and the dash boots. Boom! I believe the dash boots I can use for this, but if not, I have bombs. Yes, dash boots. So I don't think we covered this. The Pegasus boots allow us to actually destroy some of the secret walls, saving us having to use a bomb. Not that bombs aren't entirely plentiful, because as you can see, we got bombs. But it's just nice to have that option. I continued to throw rupees into the magical fountain in the last episode, and I asked for more arrows, so now we have a disgusting number of arrows. With that out of the way, we're going to head to get the final pendant. That's right, the first act of this game is coming quickly to a close. The good news is this game is not evenly distributed, meaning that the first half of the game is not really a half. It might be a third or a quarter, somewhere around there. There's significantly more content to be had that comes later on. So, yeah, to start, we're going to head to the west of the sanctuary. When we walked over here earlier, there was this large rock. Now that we have those power mitts, we are actually able to move that rock. By being able to move that rock, we can go to Death Mountain. I don't need permission. So here is the fun part about Death Mountain. You get the cone from the lamp, and that's pretty much how you figure out where you want to go. Unless you basically have this memorized. And you know what you find? An old man. I don't know who you are, but if you're going up to Death Mountain, will you take me with you? I lost my lamp, so... Yeah, okay, old man. Watch your step. Those are holes in the ground. Could you turn right here? Young man, are you also going to the mountain to look for the golden power? Just ahead is a mountain full of monsters. Many people have vanished in the mountain while looking for the golden power. I don't want to steer you wrong, so please don't get too involved in such a mad quest. Be quiet, old man. I'm gonna go get me some golden power. Yeah. Oh, turn right here. You know, I have a granddaughter who is your age. The king took her to the castle and she never returned. Kidnapping those maidens was part of the wizard's plot. I'm sure he is trying to somehow use the power of the descendants of the wise men. That's a lot of fun. Okay, old man. I'm gonna drop you off at this random cave over here. The missing maidens are still alive somewhere. I believe that the hero will rescue them. Yeah, talk too much. Thank you. Want to give you this. If you wander into a magic transporter, gaze into this mirror. No idea what that means at this point, but hey, he gave you a mirror. It's blue, clear, and beautiful. You feel like it's going to absorb you into a whole nother world. Talk about being self-absorbed. Yep. Wizard deceived the king. Dark world. Yep. All of those things. To this point, the dark world means really nothing to you, as you've only seen the light world as you've played through. We're going to take the inside the cave route to get a little bit ahead, simply due to the fact that I despise these boulders. When I was younger, I had no idea what these things were. No clue. Like, would you get boulder from that? I would get some sort of vegetable. A Brussels sprout? I think it's a Brussels sprout. Looks like that. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. Okay, this is spectacle rock. It looks like glasses. Spectacle rock. This one? This mountain is full of nonsense, which makes it a lot of fun to run around in. Bum, bum. Yep, guessed right. I guessed right. I guessed right. And that gets me a heart piece. Alright, let's talk to Sassafras. Lunk, it is I, Sassafras. You must somehow make your way to the top of Spectacle Rock. From there you can reach the Tower of Hera, to the top of Death Mountain. Oh, excellent, Death Mountain. Link, run headlong up Death Mountain. No thank you? I feel like I should say no thank you. I forgot a bottle. I'll have to go get that after. With all that playing around in the lake, I forgot to go get a bottle. Alright. Good. Good. Okay, we're back in Boulder territory. So the game's hint is basically you need to find a way to get to the top of these rocks. You've tried going in here, you've tried going down those two entryways, and you're stumped. And I don't think I can do that one quite yet. But hey, there's this blue thing. That looks inviting and not at all like... Oh my god. What happened? I've been turned into a rabbit. I can't use any weapons, I can't use any items. And there's this jerk kicking this other jerk. What do you want? Do you have something to say to me, silly rabbit? I came here to get the power of gold, but now I'm a freak and I can't go back to the real world. If I only had the moon pearl from the Tower of Hera, I might go back to my original shape. I've got good reason to be stressed out, so back off, shoo shoo. Oh, who are you, Mr. Bunny? This world is like the real world, but evil has twisted it. The golden power is what changed your shape to reflect what is in your heart and mind. I am always changing my mind, so I turn into a ball. But if you have a ball called the Moon Pearl, you can keep your original shape here. Yep, this guy again. Don't bump into people on Death Mountain. Okay, notice how this looks very similar to Spectacle Rock? Remember that guy I told you to look in the mirror? Yep. Mirror. And we get a heart piece. So that is the descent up Death Mountain. Actually, this is not the most scary part of Death Mountain. The other side of Death Mountain that we're not going to visit today is significantly worse. Although I will say the Tower of Hera contains likely the most annoying boss in the game. Alright, so we got a key! We don't need to go up yet. Alright, so these guys throughout the level are going to throw fire at you, and your boomerang is no help. Even the magic boomerang, no help. These are mini Moldorms. They are also annoying. Boomerang, again, not going to help you there. But we need to have a map, so we can see our current position by pressing X. Let's look at this. Oh my god. Yep, 6 floors. So we're currently on the 2nd floor. We're going to go down to the 1st floor. You can see there's 3 rooms. Then we have to ascend up to the 6th floor. Yep. Not a small dungeon. Actually, impressively large. And done well. One interesting little thing about this game is that, in general, the dimensions of the places you're going into actually make some degree of sense. This is, by the way, an exploit you can do. By hitting that with the boomerang and then standing on one of these things, you are actually able to stay in iframes through this entire segment instead of having to fight all of these tiles. So, just something to consider. Yeah, the game is pretty genuine in that if you're walking into an area, generally the interior is equally proportioned to the exterior. Ah, see, look, it's a little skull. Neat, right? So why is that interesting? Well, when you think about Mario, right? You walk into the little castle, and the little castle has a bajillion miles of brick space you need to run through to get to Bowser. Not so in this game. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's reasonably close. Okay, we got places to light. Will get us the big key in the basement. So that's actually pretty impressive. Even games today, you know, you walk into an area, and chances are the exterior that you see is smaller than the interior you're about to go into, even in modern video games. Very rarely are they equally proportioned unless they share the same map, right? If you're not leaving an area to get from one place to another, then that might make some sense. But if you have to leave the area and there's a loading zone, you're almost certainly walking into an area that, ugh, I reset it. Go, 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 go. So everything makes some degree of sense. There is only one cave, I believe, that doesn't quite make sense, and I'll see if I can find where that is, because it feels like you're exiting on a plane that is higher than you entered on, I believe it is. So when we get to that, I'll definitely point that out, because that's an interesting little tidbit. Alright, so the name of the game in this room is Don't Fall Down the Cracks. Because you don't die and restart at the beginning of the area, or the beginning of this room, you fall back down levels. Why is that frustrating? Well, when we get to the boss of this level, there's a lot of space that you can fall and end up multitudes of levels deeper. There we go. Alright. So, I know, big shocker here. Treasure chest right across the way, and big angry skull of death up north. So there, right over there, is the chest that I want to get to. Ugh. Alright, to illustrate my point about this being annoying, I just fell. I fell all the way to the first floor. So the way you have to get to... Oh, come on now. That's some really incompetent gameplay right there. The way you have to play this is that you actually have to plan to drop down in just the right spot on the next floor in order to get the chest. Oh, come on now. Come on now. My level of irritation is growing quickly. We're going to speed this up because I have no patience for this whatsoever. Alright, we're back. Alright, so one thing that's nice about this game is it doesn't try to get you with positional traps. In other words, traps that are incredibly difficult to avoid simply because of the position of the enemies. There we go. You hit that right there, you come over to this, and drop down. Since the proportions of this tower are correct, we'll fall exactly where we need to, and we'll get the Moon Pearl. This protects the hero from the changing effects of the Golden Power. So when we go to the Dark World, we are able to retain our form and use our weapons. Hallelujah. Technically, you can leave this level without getting that, and in a few minutes, or I guess probably next episode, you would see why that's impactful. Okay. On to the boss! Okay, this is Moldorm. Oh, but Jared, that doesn't look too bad. He doesn't look that difficult. He looks so... I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand. Oh! I don't think I can hit him with the bow. Pretty sure not. So I've never seen a speedrunner do that. So, yep, you can't. You gotta hit behind him, and every time you hit him, he speeds up. And every time you collide with his freaking glass head, you get knocked around. That was the best I think I've ever done Moldorm, by the way. Just to give you an idea of how difficult that actually is. That was pretty incompetently played, but I've probably not done it much better than that. So we got our next pendant! And you'll notice that this pendant, for whatever reason, doesn't have gold strings, which is kind of weird. You won the Pendant of Wisdom. With this, you have collected all 3 pendants. Going out of the Lost Woods to get the Master Sword. Yeah! So this was a short episode because the Tower of Hera is short, sweet, and to the point. What does that mean? Well, that means that we're going to use the rest of the time to go back and get ourselves a Master Sword. So we can go vanquish darkness. Why am I doing this and really forcing this? Well, I want to. Why, you might ask, would I be so passionate about this? I think that this is one of the coolest scenes in video games and one of the most rewarding. I think that it gives you pretty significant and immediate gratification for pulling the Master Sword out of its pedestal. And you'll see what I mean when we get there in a second. I love this scene so much that I actually have it tattooed on my shoulder. So likely when I tweet out this episode, I'll include a picture of the tattoo. Because I just find this so compelling. And it's the hero's quest, right? Using your wisdom, courage, and power, right? The first one is courage. You're just running headlong into a dungeon with little idea of what you're actually doing. Power. You're basically muscling through those sandworms, who I'm sure have an actual name. By the way, the woods are dotted with these fake swords, which, interestingly enough, when you pick them up, this is it, the Master Sword. No, this can't be it. Too bad. And that gives you a projectile, which is actually pretty effective. But just dig that music while we walk. It gives you this wonderful feeling that this is truly a mysterious place. I love it. I love how music in this game is used to just create a mood. It's something I feel like is lost in some modern games. Alright, here we go. All little woodland sprites that you can't interact with running, and here it is, the Master Sword on its pedestal. Well, we can read that. We have the book. The hero's triumph on Cataclysm's eve wins 3 symbols of virtue. The Master Sword he will then retrieve, keeping the knight's line true. If you play the randomizer, fun fact, it actually tells you what the pull is. Because when you play a randomizer, it's not actually the Master Sword. But let's go. So this is a scene that's actually tattooed on my shoulder. Right there. Master Sword. The fog lifts and you have it. The blue stick. Suddenly, Sahasrara contacts you telepathically. Lunk, it is extraordinary that you won the Master Sword that makes evil retreat. With this shining sword, I believe you can deflect the wizard's evil powers. Yeah, we'll see about that. The destiny of this land is in your hands. Please, Lunk. I am the Master Sword. I have it. I have it. I have it. Now I have the Master Sword. I am bored. Okay, so we walk out. Lunk, help! The soldiers are coming to Sanctuary. Aye! Alright, well that's ominous. Very short, sweet, and to the point, though. It's one thing I like about that section. It doesn't beat around the bush. Hey, Lunk, get back to Sanctuary. So, what's cool about the Master Sword? Well, one, it's blue. It's a pretty cool color. relative to your Fisher-Price stick, it looks more interesting. That's sort of point number one. Point number two, as you can see, is I get sword beams. Sword beams are pretty much on point with our Fisher-Price sword in being low damage, but giving us range with our sword. So even if we don't have any arrows, we can use the sword to blast enemies with some degree of distance. The last thing is... Oh, by the way, the sword beams only exist when you have full health. The last thing is, the damage output is significantly better than the regular sword. So, I might as well get rid of this. Boop! So, with the Master Sword, you have the added benefit of greater damage output for every swing. So, with this, let's go see what happened at the Sanctuary. By the way, let's get an apple. Apples. Lunk, you are a second too late. I have failed. Zelda, the soldiers have abducted her. They have taken her to the castle. You must find her before the wizard works his magic. Please, you are our only hope. By the way, neat little thing. I don't know why that music plays when basically anything else dies. They just pop like that. But when he dies, he actually disappears. It dematerializes. So I don't know why that is, but it's sure it's interesting. All right. So here we are. And you know what? Here we're going to stay. This is where we're going to end it, on a cliffhanger. In the next episode, we are going into the castle. We are going to fight Aghanim. We are going to hopefully rescue the princess. For those of you who have played this game before, you know that that's not what's going to happen. But hey, that's okay. Stay tuned. Thank you all for watching. I truly appreciate every one of you viewing into this. And I hope that you'll like, subscribe, comment below. If you don't like it, hey, also comment. Let me know what I can do better. As always, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you, and have a good night.